What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're reviewing the 2024 F-250 King Ranch. So this is Driver's DNA. My name is Rohit. Let's get into it. And a big thank you to Joe Myers Ford for allowing me to review these cars for you guys today. So if you're in the Houston area, definitely come check them out. They're great to work with, and ask for Calvin. All right, guys, let's check out the front of this gorgeous truck. So this is, of course, your Texas spec, your cowboy spec, the King Ranch. So as you can see, we've got a lot of nice chrome details and your big C-shaped daytime running lights, and LED projector style headlights, which definitely is a great thing to have. Now, specific to the King Ranch, of course, we have this sort of darkened bronze kind of accents, as you can see, going throughout the grille, and also on your two-tone on the bumper. Now, this goes all the way around the truck, and I think that's a cool look. It sets it apart from the rest of the trims. So now, of course, we get you can see how big this is compared to my arm, a giant Ford logo. And right below that, your 360 camera. So this is definitely good, as you can see with the size of this thing, that you want to be able to see well around you. Moving down, we have your recovery hooks and tow hooks down here, painted in black and very sturdy and nice. Now down here we have this kind of lower valence piece. This is, I'm pretty sure, for aerodynamics and fuel mileage. It's got hit or miss on looks, but you can always take it off if you don't want it. And of course, right below, we have our radar sensors for parking and adaptive cruise control. All right, guys, welcome to the belly of the beast, or the head of the beast, whatever, it's a beast in here. This is of course, our 6.7 liter high output power stroke. We have 500 horsepower and 1,200 foot-pounds of torque. So this is quite the monster, and I'm sure it will pull anything you need. But just in case, I will put the towing statistics right here. Alright, guys, so let's check out the tires here. We have Bridgestone Dueler all-terrain tires. These are 275s on a 20-inch wheel, and this is a specific wheel to the King Ranch. As you can see, we have the same brown, darkened bronze accents over there and on the two-tone on the paint. Now moving up here, we have our F-250 badging and King Ranch, which is kind of cool. And then on the back of the mirror here, this is a big boy. We have gloss black trim on the top. I believe in the past models this used to be chrome, so this is kind of a little stealthier look. And then, of course, our surround view lighting below, and our other camera for the 360 view. And of course, this is power extending so you can see behind your trailer. All right, and down here we have our power deployable running boards, which is kind of cool. These feel really nice and flat, easy to step on, and very confidence inspiring for sure. And if you'll come over this way, we have our little passkey system. This has been there, of course, many of you know, from the 90s in Fords. I think they might actually be getting rid of it soon, so that's kind of sad. But this allows you to basically lock your keys in the car if you're going kayaking or something and don't want this to get wet. So, all right, let's move on down this way. Here we have, of course, your fuel tank. This is your high output diesel. We have 34 gallons right here. Fuel tank and DEF, of course. We have our first footstep to get into the bed. And this is kind of cool because they have a gap in the back so that, mud and soot and water and whatnot can get out. So that's kind of a nice touch. So this allows you to, of course, access the top of your very nice bed out here. And moving to the rear suspension, of course, it's leaf springs. And for your heavy-duty truck, of course. And as you can see, we've got 4 leafs in the main pack down there and 1 overload. All right, guys, so this bad boy is, of course, a FX4 off-road package, which is pretty neat. So here on the tail lights, we have our brake lights that are incandescent and reverse lights that are LED. And then on the right here in the center, this is a sort of your blind spot sensor and radar sensor for the rear, which is kind of cool. Now, of course, as all King Ranches do, we have this really pretty applique that goes all the way across. It says King Ranch and Super Duty. I think this is kind of a nice touch, especially this being the cowboy truck. Has a little bit of chrome on it, kind of fits the vibe, right? So moving down here, we have, of course, your trailer connectors. So we have 7-pin and 4-pin down here for trailer video, and so that's kind of neat. Down here is, of course, your Class 5 receiving hitch, and you can see you've got your loops on the side for your chains. And, of course, parking sensors and all that good stuff to make sure you don't crash your nice baby. So back here on the tailgate, now this is really cool because this is now a power tailgate, so you just have to tap the button. Look, Mom, no hands, so it's kind of cool. So as you can see, this is a tall truck, and no matter what my ex-girlfriend will tell you, I am of average height, and this is at my hip, so they gave you a step to make things easier. So I have to say, I think this is my favorite step in the segment. I think it's just the easiest to use and the most sort of thought out. Because as you can see, you have your full old man handlebars and this nice step that actually tilts with your weight, so it's kind of cool. So you jump in and look at that, I'm tall. So of course this is a power boost version of the F-250. So we have 2,000 watts of power down here. It's a cool power plug. And so your battery is located under the back seat, which is kind of a nice way to put it out of the way. And so this is really neat. I mean, you can run a lot of good tools if you're on a work site, camping, anything cool like that. 2,000 is a pretty solid amount of power, so that's pretty nice. And moving over here to this side, we've got bed lighting. So of course that, here's one of them. There's some up by the cab. And that's a really good thing to have, especially in the dark when you're setting up your campsite. So this is our first ever door thunk test. From now on all the car reviews, we're gonna see how well the door thunks. So let's check it out. Alright guys, welcome to the interior of this beautiful King Ranch truck. So as you can see, we have the King Ranch, antique leather package here. This is the Java color leather, and you'll see some B-roll now. It's very nice to look at. Kind of a chocolatey coffee color, very cool. All right, so let's start first with our door panels here. So we have some really nice, everything is soft touch that your arm is gonna rest on. For example, here you have a nice cutout in your door so you can see your nice big mirrors very well. And I think, especially with a behemoth of a truck like this, that's very necessary. I'm glad that Ford did that. Now, the really interesting thing with this truck, and it's first time for me, is massaging seats. So that's kind of a really interesting thing that I know is becoming very common in this segment of truck and SUV. And I'm glad that's kind of a cool, because these trucks do get driven a long distance, many times cross country in a matter of days. And so you can get fatigued and tired, and so that's great that they have a lot of options here, as you'll see, for different massages, the intensity, and the ability to adjust where you're sore. So that's really cool. Now the steering wheel. The steering wheel here is a big meaty guy, and it's very nice to hold. Leather wrapped, of course, very soft, but feels very high quality. You have a good number of buttons, but not too many that it's overwhelming. And this is very easy to be able to, learn by muscle memory, which is very nice. And of course, on the center bottom here, a nice reminder of King Ranch and the little King Ranch logo or emblem at the bottom. Now, this of course, you have a column shifter for your gear selector, which is nice in a way because it opens up your center console here. We have our standard cup holders, or what look like standard cup holders until you slide it this way. And now we have 4 cup holders. You've got 2 juniors and 2 big ones. This is also just nice, as you can put some smaller items in here, maybe your wallet doesn't just go flying around everywhere. That's a nice touch. I think this is something that maybe more manufacturers should do. Now, moving over here into the center console, we have our beautiful leather-wrapped you know, very soft touch. Just this is high quality. And you have your King Ranch logo just fully etched into it. Now when we open it, we have a nice tray for change if you're still using change, and then, you know, just the stuff drawer, right? And then down here, this is a deep center console. You could easily fit, I think it even comes with a factory safe that you can get installed, or you can literally put most of my arm fits in here. So this is great amount of storage. You could pack some clothes in here for a camping trip, so that's pretty impressive. And then beyond that, we got 2 more cup holders, probably for the people in the back, might be more useful for them, and that's honestly a great place to put it. So on the upper part of the center console here, we have Pro Trailer Backup Assist. So this is a nice feature, especially for people who are new to trailers like myself. And I'm glad that, because so many more people are buying trucks these days, and then you have toys like boats and other things, jet skis, stuff like that. So this is nice that you can learn to back up a trailer properly using tools like this, and that's what modern technology is about, so that's great. Now moving up here to the top of the screen, we have some physical buttons at the top, which is nice. Of course, this is your exhaust brake, this being a diesel power stroke truck, that's definitely a must. And then right next to it, we've got camera views. So as you can see, the resolution here, stellar. I mean, you can see the sun is shining right through there, and you still can clearly see this blue bar in front of us. And this is definitely a very solid camera. So here we can actually go in here and change camera views. So you can look at the bed, or maybe the hitch, or oh come on, or both your sides. So this is very helpful, of course, with having a truck this size, and you know, I'm glad that the cameras are this clear, because this is quite impressive. Now this is of course your 12-inch multimedia screen here in the center, and it's nice that it's laid out in this landscape format, which makes having all these different camera views stacked up side by side very nice. So down here, right by your knee, you've got your drive mode selector. So this is kind of cool. It has a really good chunk to it when you turn. This is nice. And from here, of course, you can access your 2-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive, 4 high, 4 low, and your differential locker. So that's good. Now right above it, we have a trailer brake controller, right, easy to grab right here from the wheel. So that's a good spot. And moving here to the side, now we have, of course, your HVAC and stereo controls. So this has a nice, you know, high quality feel to it. Now, all the way over here to the right, we have 12-volt power and full household power plug. You can plug your laptop in, you can, you know, this is great because a lot of times we forget chargers, you know, USB ports are taken up. This is a great thing to have, especially in a long distance vehicle like this. And so right up here, we have a button, and if you push it, you get a second glove box. So that's a nice, neat extra storage, right? With that is the one thing this truck has no shortage of, is storage, and that's great. Now, of course, down here below, you have your standard glove box, and an interesting, unique touch here for King Ranch is you get the sort of unique designs, and it's part of that antique package. Up here on the ceiling, we have our, you know, garage door opener buttons, and then moving to the center, this is just beautiful. So we have pre-wired 6 auxiliary upfitter switches. So if you've got off-road lights, if you've got anything like that, you can plug them into here and run them with these really great switches. So this is a nice. This is probably the coolest button I've used in quite a while. Below that, we've got sunglass holder, pretty standard, what you'd expect, and of course a rear window sliding mechanism. So that's kind of cool. So you can put in, if you've got long pieces of wood, anything like that, you can slide them through there or just get some air. All right, guys, welcome to the back. This is definitely the luxury area over here. So as you can see, once again, we have the return of that really nice metallic, nice quality feeling trim pieces here. And that continues over here with seat back pocket. This is just so soft and very nice. We have all this beautiful leather here. I just love this color. Now, moving back to the door, we have nice cup holder pocket next to your, window switches, things like that, and the same architecture from the front with a middle tier, smaller pocket, and then your giant map pockets, bottle holders, things like that down here. Of course, your once again beautiful B&O speaker grill. And now moving to the inside, we have your standard armrest, 2 more cup holders here, which is always nice to see. Can never have too many of those. And another interesting thing that, if you're not familiar with trucks, you get in a lot of them is under-seat storage. So this is pretty deep, solid 6 or 8 inches down here, and this is actually collapsible too. So if you don't want to have this open or you want to be able to tuck it away, you can actually collapse this. And because this has Pro Power on board, we have our battery pack right back here for the 2,000 watts in the bed. Now, moving into the cabin here, we have, of course, AC vents, how can you not, and 2 USB-C ports and outboard heated seats for each side, so that's pretty neat. Below that, of course, they never have any shortage of these power outlets. So you have, once again, another 12 volt and 120. So I think there are 400 watts of power in the cab alone, so that's pretty nice. And this is just, I mean, you can look at this. You have so much space to sit back here. I'm about 5'8", average size adult. Some might say adult, some might not, but plenty of space back here. And finally, on the ceiling, we have the beautiful twin panel moonroof. This is a great way to travel around. So your kids, if they're lucky enough, will enjoy their time back here. Alright y'all, welcome to the verdict. So the base price of the King Ranch trim is just shy of $77,000. But of course, that shocks no one, as this is definitely a luxury vehicle. So let's take a closer look at some of the options where you might be able to save some money. Your first option on this truck is a 331 rear locking differential. Now that's $430 and is very much dependent on your towing needs, so I'll leave that decision up to you. The high output Power Stroke diesel in this truck is basically a $13,000 option. Now if you don't need that kind of earth spinning power, the standard output is $10,000 and the 7.3 liter Godzilla gasser comes standard. So that's another great place to save some money. At this price point, the FX4 off-road package is definitely essential. It's not very much in comparison to the MSRP, and I don't know about you, but if I'm off-roading my $92,000 truck, I'm definitely paying for the skid plates to protect it. So the next option on the menu is the engine block heater for $190. Now this is very much location-based, so it depends on how much time you're planning to spend in wintry places, but it occurs to me that it might be a good option to have for resale. And finally, we come to the twin panel moonroof for almost $1,500. Now, this is purely an aesthetics option. I personally think it lets a lot of nice light into the interior, but on the other hand, saving $1,500 also sounds pretty good. So all in all, this truck is a wonderful place to spend time, especially given its use case. I like that trucks have become luxury vehicles because it means that if you need a rugged work truck, that's available. And if you need a rugged work truck that'll also take your family to Disneyland on the weekends while giving you a massage, that's an option too. That's it. Cheers. Alright guys, I'll see you next time.